Five, 10. I think that's all we are. All right, let's see. Elizabeth, I had most of you before, but some of you I haven't. Max, briefly tell us who you are,
I'm Maxwell.
where you're from, what's your major, what you're gonna be when you grow up.
I'm from Beijing. I'm majoring in finance and RMI. I want to be an underwriter.
Okay. The second guy today from Dayton.
Really?
Not this class, but my 301. Yeah, I made the same joke. I don't blame you from getting out of Dayton. It's one of the ugly cities I have ever seen.
It's still.
Pablo's here, Nico's here. What happened?
I get the free stress fractures from running, not from car accident. So I get the stress fracture in my pubic bone, my spectrum, and acetabular. 1 week and I should be fine.
I don't think you'll be able to run this semester.
Not in either, but in outdoors maybe. Yeah, maybe in April. Like it's gonna take like 1 month to get back to like shape. And
Yeah.
we'll see.
Logan, you'll say because these guys know each other, so
I'm
you
Logan.
introduce yourself.
I'm from Louisville. I'm a finance major. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do.
Oh, you're gonna graduate soon, so you better start thinking about it. Lauren,
I'm Lauren. I'm from Paris. I'm majoring in accounting. It's now
okay. Gary's here. Brenna,
Hey, my name's Brenna. Majoring in accounting and finance. I want to be a CPA.
all right. Martin's here, and Jonathan. I'm just gonna call you Gunny.
What?
I'm gonna call you Gunny. Sergeant G. Gunny. Gunny the Sergeant.
I'm John. I'm majoring in finance, and I'm also from Beijing.
Okay. Oh man, look at this. There's mass exodus from Dayton to Richmond. All right. Now, let's briefly talk about syllabus. There's no required text. We're just going to cover stuff. Let's see. As far as what I'm going to need from you, attendance and class participation are about a quarter of the grade. Remember, if you're not here, you can't participate. So if you're here unexcused and your name comes up, it's as if you were here and you didn't participate. As far as attendance, I work on an honor system. If you let me know ahead of time, you won't be able to make it. I don't need any documentation. Just make sure that if something happens, take care of that first, but reach out to me whenever it's possible. If you tell me 3 weeks after your absence, I had something, and I'm going to say provide documentation. There'll be homework assignments. There'll be 5 of them. It's about half the grade. And they're gonna figure out on exactly, depending upon exactly how many people we have. Groups of 3 or 4. You will form portfolios of options and features and follow the risk and performance of those and write a report about that. We'll talk more about that when we get there. There is no final exam, so May 3rd, we're pretty much done. The last 3-4 weeks, we'll probably do some optional topics. I'll ask you what sort of stuff you would be interested in coverage. If you don't say anything, I'll cover some exotic stuff. All right. Now, briefly, let's talk about what we mean by derivatives. When we say derivative security, this is a security whose value depends on an underlying security that is traded or valued independently. Can you think of anything like that you were exposed to before? It's okay if you weren't, but examples, futures or forward contracts you make bets on value of the security in the future. The oldest example are grain or in general agricultural futures. These have been around since probably 17th century. Think of yourself as a farmer, right? There is a natural delay between the time you plant and the time that you harvest and sell in the market. The trouble is when you plant, you kind of make a commitment. You plant a certain amount of land and you just wait, even assuming that there's not going to be any trouble with the harvest. You have no idea what's going to be the price. You're going to be at the mercy of the merchants. They'll come to you and say, okay, I'll pay this much for your harvest. Alternatively, if you could actually do a deal with somebody or with some sort of organized exchange, you plant about 10 acres of land and you figure you're going to get, I'm just making the numbers up, 10 tons of grain out, let's say wheat. And you're going to go to the merchant and say, okay, I'm going to sell you 10 tons of grain this time next year, but we're going to agree on what the price is going to be right now. And you say it's $2 a pound or bushel or whatever the unit is. And when that time comes, you're obligated to deliver material. The merchant is obligated to compensate you at the price you agreed upon a year earlier. That's an example of a forward contract. And typically the value of such a contract depends upon what the value of the underlying security at that point. The wheat is cheaper now, more than likely forward prices are going to be cheap. If it's expensive now, it's going to be expensive as well. A futures contract is basically a forward contract that's traded on an exchange. The forward you do it between two counterparties, and I could pick you as my counterparty. But the trouble is, I'm taking on credit risk as well. Because if next year the market is, $1 a bushel, but you promise to pay 2, you can simply say, hey, I'm not paying you 2. I can get the same amount from the market at $1. The futures exchange goes kind of around that. You take the exchange as your counterparty, whether you're on the cash part or the delivery part, doesn't matter. Exchange typically gets a collateral from you. So it's basically organized forwards market. And other examples are options. These are rights to buy or sell a given security at a predetermined price on or before a certain date. Okay? You have the right, but not the obligation. If you're a seller of such an option. If you're a buyer of such an option. If you're a seller of such an option, if the buyer decides to use that right, you're obligated to fulfill. Example, go to my Robinhood account. For example, right now I have